Out of all the main six, we have known the least about Fluttershy's origins. Fans have been speculating for years about her family, and now we get to see all of them in one fell swoop. In some ways, I can understand why a few people would feel a bit disappointed considering that some of their favorite fan fictions and theories are now officially non-canon. But in other ways, Fluttershy really was the only member of the main six where this story could work. In what other family setting could you have a character be coddled to such an extreme that his lazy outlook on life is so believable? We may have wished to see Fluttershy's family long before now, but I can thoroughly get behind the idea of waiting until there was a truly memorable story concept before they could introduce them. And this is the kind of episode that stands above most others in my opinion. The story begins with Fluttershy's parents, who are just as soft-spoken and non-confrontational as we'd expect them to be given their daughter's personality. And then we're introduced to one of the most standout characters I've seen in quite a long time, Zephyr Breeze. The MLP staff were trying to establish a unique conflict with Fluttershy's brother, but the way he bounces off the rest of the main six was rather entertaining. Especially those moments with Rainbow Dash. I half expected her to punch him in the face at some point with just how stuck up Zephyr was acting. Lazy, egotistical, and an expert at coming up with excuses. Which, if you look up the definition, his name literally means a soft, gentle breeze. And while you can easily see that he's the kind of guy who goes wherever the wind takes him, as in the path of least resistance, he's anything but soft or gentle in his approach. I really have to give credit to the writing here. As much as children can understand and even relate a bit with the message, this is definitely one of those cases where the moral is directed far more towards adults. Even with all the work I put into a career as well as these videos every week, I couldn't help but feel uncomfortable watching this story. Looking into myself and realizing, I really can be doing more for those around me. And any episode that makes you step back and think about how to better live your own life is definitely doing something right. Fluttershy is still growing as a character, using what she's learned in previous seasons, especially from It Ain't Easy Being Breezy's, because she had to put her hoof down to make anything happen with Zephyr. And it could have been really, really easy for the writers to just make him an unredeemable slob with no regard as to how much of a burden he's putting on his family. Because at the beginning, he is just that. He is deeply flawed and completely obnoxious. But I am impressed by how realistic they made Zephyr at his very lowest point, and how it all stems from a fear of failure, a fear of being challenged. This is an incredibly difficult hurdle that we all have to overcome at some point. And the more we put it off, the more we believe that someone else will keep coming to our aid whenever we ask for it, the more comfortable we'll become in our surroundings. There is a very real danger in complacency. And if any of you don't know what that word means, look it up. If anything, this episode is trying to teach us about constantly improving upon ourselves, continually striving towards a goal, especially if it happens to be hard. Even if that means someone else has to step in and physically push us out of our comfort zone to do so. Oftentimes, we are capable of more than we give ourselves credit for. And what's more, the writers aren't trying to insult anyone who is stuck in their ways like Zephyr. As much as Fluttershy is peeved at her brother, which got a good chuckle from me by the way, she loves and encourages him with lines like,
Zephyr, you're smart and talented. You could do anything if you just tried.
This episode isn't trying to put down anyone who has difficulty with challenging themselves, but rather inspire them to believe in their own potential. They even sing a song about it, which actually had some nice harmonies between Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash. It's a fantastic setup and a fantastic resolution for a fantastic lesson, wrapped up with some interesting new characters, some entertaining dialogue, and plenty of potential for future stories. I can really appreciate a show that actually evolves its stories and characters, and MLP is continuing to impress with how far they can push themselves. Let us hope that we can do the same. For now, though, I would love to hear from each of you. What were you expecting from an episode that finally shows us Fluttershy's family? Do you think Zephyr's stick-in-the-mud antics were really entertaining, really annoying, or perhaps both at once? Did this episode make you step back and think about your own life in a meaningful way? I would like to hear your thoughts on Flutter Brutter, and I think I'm going to find something new today to challenge myself with. I hope each of you feel inspired to do the same. I am Dr. Wolf, and I look forward to hearing from you.